Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so if you're studying religious traditions right now, or honestly, if you just love exploring different cultures, you gotta prepare yourself for something literally eye-opening. Today, we're stepping into a deeply sensory, absolutely fascinating side of faith. We are looking at the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church. Right, so picture a typical Catholic Church service in your head for a second. You're probably imagining what? Quiet pews, spoken prayers, maybe a choir singing those familiar hymns. Well, prepare to have that image completely transformed. Because depending on the culture, worship can look, sound, and feel entirely different. It's like a whole new world. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at what this church actually is. Then, we'll step into the sacred drama, explore the music and physical worship, check out the iconostasis, which are basically heaven's windows, and finally wrap up with unity in diverse traditions. Section 1. What is this church? Let's jump right into its origins. Now, the number 23 is super important here. You see, the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church is actually one of 23 Eastern Catholic churches worldwide. And what that means is they are fully united with the Pope, just like Roman Catholics. But, and here's the kicker, they follow an ancient tradition from the East. So it's the exact same underlying faith, but expressed in a completely different cultural way. Pretty cool, right? And this community actually has really deep roots right here in Great Britain. A lot of Ukrainian Catholics first arrived just after the Second World War in the 1940s. And then more recently, and obviously very tragically, a new wave of arrivals has come in the 2020s following the war in Ukraine. They've brought this ancient, incredibly rich tradition right into the heart of modern Britain, creating these thriving communities today. You'll find these vibrant communities in cities all over, like London, Manchester, Bradford, and Nottingham. And for these families, the church isn't just a place for Sunday prayers. It's actually a vital cultural hub that keeps their language and culture totally alive. Oh, and here's a super surprising fact for you. Unlike standard Roman Catholic practice, in this tradition, some priests are actually married before they're ordained. No way, right? But it's true. Section 2. Stepping into sacred drama. Let's see what this actually looks like in action. So, instead of calling their main service a Mass, Ukrainian Greek Catholics call it the Divine Liturgy. It follows something called the Byzantine Rite. This is an incredibly ancient style of worship that developed centuries and centuries ago in the Eastern Roman Empire, centered around Constantinople, which, if you know your history, is modern-day Istanbul. Think about it this way. If standard Roman Catholic worship feels a bit like reading and responding, listening to readings, speaking prayers back, the Divine Liturgy feels like you are stepping directly into a sacred drama. You absolutely aren't just an audience member here, you are entering a highly symbolic, immersive world. Literally, the moment you walk in, all your senses are engaged. Thick incense is regularly used, filling the air. You'll also notice the priest often faces the altar, or the iconostasis, leading the people forward, rather than facing the congregation the whole time. The service is mostly sung or chanted, and people actually stand for really long periods. It's all entirely focused on mystery and beauty, designed to make you feel like you're worshiping directly alongside heaven itself. Section 3, Music and Physical Worship. Let's dive deeper into that sensory experience. Now, you won't hear any pipe organs or your standard church hymns here. Instead, almost the entire service is completely vocal. It's just packed with beautiful chanting, sung prayers, and this amazing call and response singing using ancient melodies. And it's not meant to be a concert, It's designed specifically to pull you into a really deep spiritual atmosphere. A really core concept of this tradition is that expressing faith isn't just about what's in your head, or even just the spoken words coming out of your mouth. It actually requires your entire physical body. Faith is something you literally express with your whole self. So, what does that actually look like in practice? Well, worshipers make the sign of the cross, but they do it differently, moving from right to left instead of left to right. You'll see people bowing deeply, kissing sacred icons with so much reverence, lighting candles, and joining in processions with incense. Every single action, every movement has a really specific, beautiful purpose. Section 4. The iconostasis. Heaven's windows. Let's talk about the art. Okay, so unlike a lot of Western churches, Eastern Catholic churches do not use statues. Instead, they use icons. And the absolute most striking visual feature of the entire space is called the iconostasis. This is a massive, beautifully painted screen or wall completely covered in icons. And it physically separates the altar area from the main part of the church where the congregation stands. It's a real focal point. And this screen is highly organized. It's not random at all. It holds specific icons of Jesus, icons of Mary, different saints and angels, and right smack in the center are what they call the royal doors. During the sacred drama of the liturgy, the priests actually pass through these doors at some incredibly meaningful moments. To Eastern Catholics, these icons are absolutely not just pretty decorations for the building. Actually, they are often called windows to heaven. They are spiritually powerful tools meant to actively draw your gaze, and really your spirit, upward towards God. It creates this profound, deep sense of mystery in the room. Section 5, Unity in Diverse Traditions. So why does all this matter? Well, the big takeaway from this explainer is just how incredibly diverse Catholicism is. The Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church shows us that worship can look, sound, and feel radically different depending on the culture. Yet, despite these completely different traditions and deeply sensory experiences, they all belong beautifully and fully to one single church. It's like a giant puzzle where all these unique pieces fit perfectly together. I'm going to leave you to reflect on this question. How can different traditions help us see the exact same faith in a completely new light? Because, when we step outside what we think is just normal, we often discover a depth of meaning we never even knew existed. So keep exploring these unfamiliar traditions, and you'll for sure keep expanding your understanding of the world. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.